Hey guys, Mike here again. Today's episode, we're talking all about forced appreciation. If you're a control freak like me, you're gonna love this episode. We're gonna talk about how commercial property is valued, the top ways that you can force appreciation in your property, and we're gonna go through an example that'll give you an extra 50 grand in your 10-unit property for no money out of your pocket. So let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing that we gotta cover in order to understand how to add value, we gotta understand how a property is valued. So with commercial property and apartments, anything with 5 or more units on the residential side, the value of a property is very simple. It's basic. It's the net operating income divided by the capitalization rate or the cap rate. Now, net operating income is basically all the revenue that the property generates minus all the operating expenses, not including a mortgage. That's your NOI, your net operating income. The capitalization rate is basically return that you would get if you paid all cash for a property. So typically with an A-class brand new beautiful property, the cap rate's going to be anywhere from 4 to 6% traditionally. In today's market, a lot of times it's going below that, which is ridiculous. But anyway, for B-class properties, you're looking anywhere from 7 to 8, maybe 9%. C-class properties, 9 and up. D-class properties you don't want to touch. They're just war zones. They're vacant, empty, infested with drug lords, prostitutes. Like, you just don't want to deal with them. So anyway, back to the formula. Value of a property is NOI divided by the cap rate. That's simple. So in order to add value to the property, what can we control? We can control the NOI. So we can increase the income or decrease the expenses. So as I was saying in the introduction, if you own a 10-unit property right now and your rents are under market because you were smart and you bought a property that you could add some value, had some under market rents, and say all you did was increase the rents by 25 bucks a unit. So you've got 10 units times 25 bucks a unit times 12 months, all divided by, we'll call it an 8% cap rate. Say it's a B minus property. So what does that work out to? That works out to about $37,500 in value that you just added to your property with a $25 increase. That's pretty amazing. So now let's couple that, right? So we've just boosted our income by 25 bucks a month per unit. Let's look at the expense side. We're gonna get into all the different ways that you can reduce your expenses, but for right now, let's just assume that you reduce your expenses by $1,000 over the course of the year. That's totally doable. Again, if you buy a property, you should easily be able to reduce the annual expenses by $1,000 if you buy it right, okay? Plain and simple. So if you take $1,000 divided by 8%, you get $12,500. So you do those two things and you've literally just added 50 grand in value to your property without spending any money on the property. Zero. So your zero investment landed you 50 grand just by knowing some basic math with commercial real estate. All right, so now let's get into the top ways to increase your income and decrease your expenses. So to increase your income, you can fill your vacancies. So you bought that 10-unit building and you had 3 vacant units. Okay, you fill those vacancies, your income's up. Boom, done. Simple. You can increase the rent, like we talked about. Even a $10 increase really pans out. It just multiplies the value of the property. Pet fees, parking fees, storage fees, trash concierge, amenity rentals. So if you have maybe a larger complex, you have like a hall type of area or a community room, you can rent that out. Cable contracts. Cable companies will actually pay you a fee to be the only cable provider in the building. So again, it doesn't cost you anything. You say, sure, you can be the only provider in my building. Here's a contract, boom. Cell towers. Cell towers are big money. We released a blog article about this last year on how to go about getting a cell tower. Go back, read that article. And if you do get one, we have a great article on how to maintain it, make sure that everything's up to code, and some steps you can take to easily manage that cell tower and reduce any headache. So we've increased our income. Here are some ways to decrease your expenses. You can abate the tax assessment. This is huge. Taxes are going to be some of your biggest expenses, and they're recurring. So When you buy the property, a little ninja trick, if you buy the LLC directly, so you're not buying the property, but if you buy the seller's LLC, you can get around the property being reassessed when you buy it. So just a little ninja tax tip right there. What else we got? We've got renegotiate property management fees. You can rebid the insurance, rebid the landscaping, rebid the trash, all the utilities. You can implement energy efficient lighting and water efficient faucets and toilets. All of those, the water bill, especially in a lot of these older properties, even up here in New England, there's a ton of them. You get a lot of leaky pipes, a lot of wasted water. It can save you a ton of money. So those are the top 18 ways that you can increase your income and decrease your expenses. So the key takeaways are the value of the property is the NOI divided by the cap rate. Look for properties that have a value play. So again, maybe there's got some vacancies, maybe their rents are under market, maybe their expenses are inflated, maybe they could use a laundry coin-op, maybe they could be take advantage of having a sole cable provider, all those types of things that we went over. Look for value plays where you can go in, buy the property, and then force that appreciation. Don't just hope that a property is going to go up in value over time. Get a property that you can go in there and force the appreciation. And lastly, the small increase, is that 25 bucks? Led to $37,500 in extra value. That's crazy, 25 bucks. $1,000 on the expense side. Between the two of them, you just added 50 grand. So those small amounts really add up in the value of a property. So lastly, we got a little bonus for you guys. At the end of last year, we wrote a brand new book called The Ultimate Guide to Free Market Research. It's literally a step-by-step blueprint on understanding market cycles, all the key economic indicators you need and used by the pros to pick their markets, where to get all the data, exactly how to get the data and mine it from the source websites themselves, rather than go out and spend 500 to 20 grand from some of these information sites. It's all included in this book, and you can get your free copy. We'll include the link in the show notes below, but it's www.snacap.com/market-research-book. And again, we'll include that in the show notes, but you definitely want to get yourself a copy of that. It's totally free, and I think you'll find it very useful. And if you go back, there'll be another video where we actually walk through that manual and show you step by step how to research a market so you can kick this year off with a bang and get right into it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you, if you get some value out of this, please share it. Make sure you like it, subscribe to our channel, and we'll talk to you guys soon. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment, or you can email me directly at michael@snacap.com. I'd be happy to talk to you about any of your real estate investing questions.